Hi, friends, and welcome to another episode of Tuesday Tea Time with Sahdi and Omni, where we drink the tea and spill the tea about our weekly spiritual practices. I'm Omni.
And I'm Sahdi.
And today's episode is all about shape-shifting. We're going to go over ancient forms of shape-shifting, several types of shape-shifting, including glamoring, and we are also going to explain how to do it yourself. But first, we need to ask the question, what is shape-shifting?
Right. Shape-shifting is not just the mythical kind where you physically transform into an animal or another being. We're talking about the kind of shape-shifting that happens on a spiritual, energetic, and even emotional level. And the kind that many of us are already doing without even knowing it.
Yep.
So shape-shifting is more than just folklore or fantasy. It's something that's deeply woven into spiritual traditions across the world. So shamans, mystics, and energy workers have practiced it for centuries, using it to connect with spirit guides, nature, and higher consciousness. In Egyptian mythology, gods like Anubis and Bastet took on different forms to represent their power. And then Norse traditions would enter a trance and channel the spirit of a bear or a wolf in battle. So they would actually conjure the spirit of that animal to help them fight harder.
Well, yeah, because when I was doing research, I, of course, because I'm tied into Native American heritage on my mom's side, I instantly thought about all of the stories I've heard about going on spirit walks and with spirit guides, and you have to fast for a long period of time. Sometimes you have to travel on your own. And this is usually when you're a young person transitioning into an adulthood. So you go on this walkabout, Aborigines would call it.
Isn't it usually the males that do that? The
Yeah,
hunters?
it's usually the males, but there is tribes where females do something similar.
Okay.
Whatever animal comes to them and helps them spiritually or physically is their spirit animal. That's how it comes about.
Yeah, I even heard in some of the Indian cultures, they have to go out and hunt and they can't come back without an animal.
Yeah.
Taking the life of an animal. So there's a certain way that they go about that too.
Yeah.
So they almost go into these trance-like states where they're starving. They're out there for days with no food and they just get sent out there with like a knife or a bow and arrow or whatever. And they have to kill the animal and then invoke the spirit of that first animal they kill into their body, and it stays with them forever.
Yes, that's part of it. Another one is when one of the animals come to help them upon their journey, they embody the traits of that animal to help them survive. And I thought that was interesting because there's a lot of wolves, a lot of bears and tribes that they embody those and their strength and survival. And a lot of hunting goes along with it too. And I've never thought about that being tied to shape shifting necessarily, because when you hear about it, it seems very much like the lore of Skinwalker, where it seems very urban legend.
Right, like werewolves.
Yeah, but this is tradition. These are stories passed down and they're sacred.
It's crazy because in everyday life, if we really think about it, we shapeshift constantly. We're adjusting to our energy to match the people around us. We're shifting into different moods and even absorbing vibrations without even realizing it. What happens when we do this intentionally?
Yeah.
That's the question. What happens when we take control of our ability to shift?
I was literally watching a video today where it was showing a girl walking down the street feeling insecure versus her walking down the street feeling confident. And she was an entirely different person.
Yeah.
Goddess status.
Yes. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later. I really wanted to touch on that subject because it's really powerful. It's a part of it. Really quick, I just want to share a story about a reading that I did recently with a couple. I do have their permission, just to let you know. I usually don't talk about other people's readings unless I've asked them. And they said, yeah, we're totally fine with that.
Yeah.
So I was working with a couple who right now they're experiencing an extreme spiritual awakening. And during the reading, I was guided to focus on his eyes. And I think I asked him something like, they're talking about your eyes. What's up with your eyes? They change, don't they? And he was like, yes, they change different colors and they've even turned purple.
Oh, wow.
Which is very rare. I focused in on that because I was like, why are his eyes changing? And I asked Spirit.
Because you were on the phone with him, right?
Yeah.
And so you didn't know what he looked like.
I'd never seen him before. What I picked up from Spirit was that his eyes shift depending on who he's around and what energy he's tapping into, and even what kind of spiritual presence is in the room. It was like his entire vibration adjusted through his eyes,
Oh, wow.
which is really trippy, right?
Yeah.
And the purple really made me focus on the fact that he probably has a higher level of consciousness and psychic awareness and deep spiritual connection. I realized that he's not just sensing energy, he's absorbing it and he's reflecting it. He's a natural shapeshifter. He's able to tune into the energy of people, animals, nature, and even the cosmos. He's deeply connected to all of it. What makes this even more powerful is that his wife is a healer. And she's really starting to come into her abilities and her powers and stuff like that right now. So it's really cool to see a couple that are ascending at the same time.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's really cool.
That's all I want in
Yeah,
life.
right?
Like,
And they've been working with energy together, and she's helping him unlock his abilities in real time. It's a perfect example of how spiritual gifts can stay dormant inside of us, and they're just waiting for the right moment or the right situation or the right person to awaken them.
yeah.
Now, I know some of you listening might be like, okay, well, my eyes don't change color. So how does this relate to me? And the truth is, we are all shapeshifters in one way or the other. Some of us do it through energy, some of us through emotions, and some of us shift our frequency just by walking into a different environment. So think about this. Have you ever mirrored someone's energy without realizing it? Or noticed that your voice changes depending on who you're talking to?
Yep.
We've all done that. Or have you ever stepped into a different mindset and physically felt your energy shift
Yeah.
just from changing your mindset? Like you were talking about the girl in the video.
Yep. Walking down the street, confident, same outfit, same everything, but look completely different.
Yep, that's shape shifting. It's just something that happens naturally, but when you start to do it consciously, it becomes a tool. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. It's a way to step into your power, a way to break limitations, and pretty much embody whatever energy you need in that moment.
Yeah. It's called aura shifting. So embodying a certain emotion into your body and making it believable on your face. And actors do that. They master that shape shifting. If you watch an actor that can have a breakdown scene and you're just like, how did they do that? They shifted their aura, they embodied the emotion and put it through their body.
Right.
And you believe
There's some actors that actually get stuck in their character role.
Jim Carrey?
Oh, yeah, definitely. He's even talked about that, how he becomes different entities and different versions of himself. When you're listening to him and he sounds like he's going crazy, but he's not. And he's like, who is Jim Carrey? He doesn't exist.
Yeah, like Heath Ledger. He played the Joker, in my opinion, one of the best Jokers. But he embodied that character so completely that some of his friends in interviews have said that he never was the same after that because he embodied it so completely.
And we can do that. Everybody listening right now, you can do this. You just basically have to believe that you can. And you will. And we're going to give you some tips and techniques. And we always want you to learn for yourselves. Yeah, we're going to give you some information. And then whatever resonates with you, research it. Play with that energy and try it. We were talking earlier about, and we can go back to that, animal spirit shape shifting and how you do that. This is a little trick. You close your eyes, you take a deep breath, and you ask yourself, what animal's energy do I need to embody right now? And the first thing that comes to your mind, go with that. Whatever animal it is, even if it's an ant or a turtle or whatever it is, listen to your intuition and pick up on the first thing that pops into your mind. Say maybe it's a wolf. You might need more protection in your life. If it's a hawk, maybe you need to see things from a higher perspective. But whatever comes through, lean into that energy and walk like that animal, breathe like that animal, and see how it shifts your mindset.
There's psyche to this too as well. If you go to a psychologist, they have, what do you see in this blob? You know, everyone has seen that. And a lot of them are animals. And that tells them what they need to know that's going on into your subconscious. If you say a wolf, it's what your subconscious identifies with, and it tells them certain traits that they need to know to help you.
There was even a double blind-sided placebo effect. So they had perfume that was infused with pheromones, and they had a class with these people, and they were like, when we hand you these bottles, there are pheromones in here that are going to make you more attractive to the opposite sex.
Mm-hmm.
Half the people they gave the pheromones to. The other half of the people they just gave regular perfume with no pheromones or anything. And these people had so much confidence in the fact that they thought they were getting pheromones in this perfume that their whole energy changed and they were attracting the opposite sex left and right.
Yep.
There was no difference in the people that had the pheromones or didn't. It was the confidence.
It was. You produce your own pheromones.
You do. And then there's elemental shape shifting.
Oh.
Yeah. I really wanted to talk about that because we can also shift by working with elements. So say you feel stuck or rigid, shift into water, be fluid and let things flow and release.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Release resistance and just flow like water. Or if you need courage, shift it to fire. Stand tall and speak with passion and just take all of that fire elemental energy and embody it and become it. And you can do that by working with the flame and sun energy, sun codes, things like that. And if you feel ungrounded, shift into earth. Breathe deeply and put your bare feet on the earth. Imagine roots growing from your body. If you feel closed off, shift into air. Open up, expand.
I love that.
Open yourself up to new ideas. So there's elemental shape shifting.
And people do that naturally. I mean, I've always said my mom was like a ball of sunshine. She's such a warm and beautiful person. And people that would just meet her would say that. So she definitely embodied that.
Yeah, we do it naturally. But sometimes we're not conscious of what we're doing. So we're talking about now becoming conscious of it and using it as a tool and harnessing that energy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then there's astral dream shape shifting.
Okay, so let's talk about that.
Yeah, some of the most powerful shape shifting happens in dreams in the astral realm. So a lot of people have had dreams where they fly or they become animals or they shift into different versions of themselves. And this is because in the spirit realm, transformation is completely natural. It's instant.
And I've talked several times about the astral dream with my cat Hallow and how she dream travels with me. And when I was doing research on Native Americans and they talked about totems or spirit guides and embodying that spirit, they talked about dream work and how they basically follow you along in your dreams and are a protector and you embody that spirit as your protector and shapeshift into it in your dreams.
Yes. And you can also do that when you're meditating or astral projecting. You can imagine yourself as a hawk or an eagle. Or I like to imagine myself as air energy because I like to fly in my dreams and in my meditations. I can feel their heart beating inside of me.
Oh,
I can
that's a
feel
good anchor.
the air in between my feathers and I can see below me how it feels to soar high and then take a dive down. And I play with my astral energy that way, flying and then embody a certain bird.
Well, spirits that cross over can jump into animals. Why can't we?
Yeah, exactly. And then you could try this. So before you go to sleep, set an intention. Say something like, tonight I allow my spirit to explore freely. And then when you wake up, just write down anything you remember. If you find yourself shifting in dreams, that's a sign that your energy is becoming more fluid.
Okay.
This is something that a lot of people don't think about either, is using sound to activate shape shifting.
Oh, no, I've never thought of that.
So one of the most overlooked ways to shift energy is through sound. The sound frequencies can literally unlock parts of us that have been dormant. So your voice itself is a shape shifting tool. If you feel blocked, try humming in different pitches and notice how it moves through your body. People say and they do different chants and stuff like that. Even if you don't know any chants, practice that humming and sending those vibrations through your body and your energetic field. And that's where that comes from.
Listen to our chakra and healing episode.
Yeah, singing bowls and tuning forks. And you can experiment deep, powerful tones when you need strength and light, and airy tones when you need clarity.
Okay.
So pay attention to the music that you're listening to. Certain frequencies can awaken you while others can suppress your energy. So when I was talking about the couple that I worked with, I feel like what's happening with this couple is happening on a much greater scale. So more and more people are awakening to their true nature, and they're realizing that they are fluid, they're adaptable, and powerful beyond what they've been taught.
Yeah.
Because I remember, like, when I was a kid, I used to play with shape-shifting with my friends. And we didn't even realize what we were doing. We'd be having a slumber party, and the lights were dim in the room. I remember us giggling and laughing like, oh, look at Deidre. Her face looks like a bird. And we'd all look at her and she'd be laughing and her face would resemble a bird. We could almost see like little feathers on her too. And then we would do it with each other and be like, oh, what am I? What do I look like?
Yeah.
And then I would try to turn my face into like a lion or something. And then somebody would say, oh, she kind of looks like a cat. And somebody else would be like, she looks like a lion.
Yeah.
And so we were naturally doing that as children.
I feel like children's are our best teachers to the spiritual realm too.
So I feel like this is global ascension right now because shapeshifting has literally been coming up in my readings. This is not the first time. I'm kind of awakened to remembering doing that when I was a kid. I've done it through different shamanic journeys that I've taken as an adult. And I feel like more and more people are really picking up on this energy and learning how to manipulate it and use it. So yeah, if you're resonating with this, it might be your time to awaken your own abilities right now. Yeah, we also wanted to talk about deities.
Yes. You talked about Basset having the cat head. I was like, duh, why would I never even make that correlation? But it does make sense. But I remember our episode about deities. I had interviewed somebody off mic at the time, and she had talked about aspecting a deity into her body. And you had talked about that you had done that as well. Basically, you take them into you and you shape shift into them. You take traits of them. For instance, you've learned from Kali.
Yeah, it feels like a mild possession. Even though I'm fully aware of who I am, it's almost like an overlay that goes in through my body. And she was teaching me how to belly dance and move my body in ways that I didn't know how before. She was just like, okay, let me have control, which I was giving her permission. And she was physically moving my body with her energy to move the way that she does and keep in sync with her. It was amazing.
That's awesome.
And I never looked in the mirror. I wonder if I would have had physical.
Ooh.
I never even tried that. So that's another thing that you guys could research. And I'm definitely going to now start looking in the mirror when I'm working with energies that actually physically come into my physical vessel. And so, yeah, that brings us into the next part of actually physically shapeshifting and altering your appearance through energy work. So you can actually change your physical appearance. And this isn't just about energy shifts. It's about literally altering how others perceive you. And in some cases, how you even see yourself. So the mirror shapeshifting. One of the oldest ways to practice shapeshifting is through mirror work. And mirrors aren't just for reflection, they're portals and tools for shifting perception and energy.
Yeah.
What you do, you find a dimly lit or candlelit room and you sit in front of a mirror. Take a few deep breaths and set an intention. You ask yourself, what do you want to shift into? Are you invoking the spirit of a wolf, a bird, a deity, or a different version of yourself? So start by gazing at your own eyes and focus on them until the rest of your face begins to blur. You can blink and everything, but try to keep your eyes in one spot and let everything kind of fade away and blur. And then slowly begin to visualize yourself changing. So feel your body, your energy, your features morphing into the essence of what you want to embody.
So if you're wanting to feel more confident and beautiful, you could channel Aphrodite.
Yep. You can definitely do that. And the point is to play with it, you know, have fun with it, keep your mind open. Sometimes the shift happens subtly and sometimes it happens visibly in the mirror.
Yeah.
So pay attention to all of it. Your facial features might start to distort a little bit or blur or take on another form. And some people see their eyes change. Or I've seen slits in my eyes before. I'm like, whoa, it scared me. I'm like, am I reptilian? What the fuck?
Lizard.
Lizard. But I've seen things like that in my eyes too, my pupils. Others experience a complete facial shift where they just for a second see another version of themselves looking back.
Oh.
Or I've had an experience where I was calling in my higher self doing this. It was an overlay of my higher self, of her putting a translucent version of herself over my face. And lining up with my nose and my eyes and my lips.
Did she look like you?
Yeah, she did look like me. But in my highest version, she was glistening and glowing and had iridescent tattoos all over her and scales and stuff like that, like a mermaid.
Yeah.
She was really pretty. And then she was laying her face over my face and she was like, I am you. You are me. And I was just like, oh, shit.
We are we.
Yeah, we are we. We are one. My husband actually did it one night and he looked in the mirror and he saw an alien eye
Oh.
And it, like the color of his eye changed. He has brown eyes, and he changed to blue, and it almost looked like the earth in his eyes. And he was looking. I saw the same thing. So sometimes you can have people that can see the exact same thing that you do, but he wasn't trying to. It was unexpected.
Oh, wow.
I was like, my eye looks different. And we're looking in the mirror, and it changed, and both of us saw it. And he doesn't want to do it again. I asked him if he wants to play shape shifting with me, and he's like, absolutely not. No, thank you. Have fun with your friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not happening. So this is an ancient practice, you guys. It's used by shamans and mystics to merge with different energies, spirit guides, or even past life versions of themselves. It's also an incredible way to experiment with shifting your aura and how you appear to others. There's also the group shape shifting and experimenting with other people. We should do that on
We
me.
should. I was
Definitely.
literally thinking that. I was like, I can't wait to do this with you.
So yeah, it's like one of the best ways to test if your shape shifting is affecting your physical presence. Same kind of thing, get into a dark room, gather a few like-minded people, have the lights down low, maybe a candle lit. You really want it to be darker in the room. And without telling the other people what you're shifting into, go into a meditative state, visualize your body transforming, whether that's into an animal or a different version of yourself or any kind of energy form.
Fire.
And hold that shape mentally and see if others notice a shift in your features.
Oh, that's
And then
cool.
you guys can play and do it with each other.
That sounds like so much fun.
Really, though, we're having a slumber party.
Exactly.
And haven't you said that you saw that in me the night that we...
I did. We were meditating, and I saw a pair of eyes on her forehead above her eyes. And I called them her, because, you know, you have the third eye in the middle of the head. And I was like, they're your fourth dimensional eyes.
Right, because they wasn't right in the middle of my head. One, it was...
Yeah, there was another pair of eyes on top of your eye. This sounds crazy.
like over my eyebrows.
Yeah. And I was like, it's your fourth dimensional eyes.
Were they going at the same...
They look just
they
like
blinking
they were
and-
your eyes. I wasn't drunk or anything. We were just meditating and I saw it. But you can also use this shape shifting with a form of shadow work that I think is super powerful. Imagining yourself as your younger child, looking in the mirror, I would assume, because then you can see the features of your face and work through things that you went through when you were that small child. And I think that could be very powerful because a lot of people are visual. And so when you can picture it with your eyes, it's easier for your brain to work through.
That's true. Now I want to talk about glamoring.
Yes.
This one's a fun one.
Yeah.
So it's the art of energy-based beauty.
Yes.
So this is where things get really interesting, I think. Glamoring is where you shift your energy field to appear more attractive, powerful, or captivating to other people. And this is how it works. So everything we perceive about beauty is energy. And when you walk into a room, people aren't just seeing you, they're feeling your frequency. So if you learn to shift your energy, you can make yourself appear more beautiful without changing anything about your physical features. It was exactly what we were talking about earlier. And the techniques that you can use to try this, you can sit quietly and visualize a golden or a radiant aura surrounding your body. And imagine that this light is making your skin glow, your eyes brighter, your features more defined, and hold that feeling of being irresistible and magnetic. And just stay with that feeling for as long as you possibly can. I like to listen to music too while I'm doing it. You know what I mean? Like something that makes me feel sexy with affirmations and stuff like that. And then use the eyes as a focal point. So direct your energy through your eyes. People are naturally drawn to strong eye contact. So if you pour your intention into your gaze, people will see what you want them to see. So try shifting between looking powerful or looking sexy. Play with different emotions that you have and bring it out into your eyes.
Oh, I call that siren energy.
You can do that too. You can embody that.
Yeah, I will say I turned on my siren energy and my friend witnessed it and she's like, what the hell just happened? I was like, what do you mean? She's like, girl, you just all of a sudden woke up like you were a computer that was dead and then you just turned it on. And she's like, I just witnessed something. And I was like, yeah, I got it. I got it.
So say that you want to appear larger than life. Practice expanding your aura outward and filling the space. Being big, being noticed.
Yeah.
You know, when you walk into a room, everybody's eyes are going to turn and look at you because you're huge. Not that, but
PHAT.
your energy. And then if you want to seem invisible or go unnoticed, and practice drawing your energy inward.
You call out of work sick and you want to go to the store.
Exactly. Or in any situation where you're just like, I just want to be a fly on the wall in this environment. I really don't want people to notice me. Or what if you just want to go out and you just don't want to run into anybody? Like you said, you don't have your makeup on, you look like a homeless person, your hair is a wreck, and you just have to go grab something. And usually that's when you bump into everybody that you know, or somebody you haven't seen in like 10 years and you look like shit.
Yes.
Right? Yes. And it's like, oh, we should hang out. And they're looking at you like, I don't think so. Like, and so practice that, drawing your energy in and being unnoticed, right?
I need to work on that.
And so the science behind it works because people unconsciously pick up on aura strength and body language.
You know, when you feel somebody behind you, it's because you're feeling their aura. Could you imagine if somebody's aura was turned down or turned up or,
Yeah, exactly.
Pick up on it.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's interesting because science is backing that one up.
Yep.
And then, like you were saying, actors, musicians, public figures, they naturally use this kind of energy shifting, and some of them without even realizing it. So have you ever met somebody and they weren't really attractive, but somehow they held the room's attention? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it's like they were likely doing this on an energetic level. Or you meet someone and they're not attractive and you start talking to them, you're like, I'm in fucking love with you right now. Like, let's go.
Make me laugh and I am yours.
Yeah, but it's just their energy.
I'm definitely somebody who falls for somebody from the inside out. Like your energy, your soul, I have to vibe with it. And then the looks can follow.
Yeah, and I feel like that kind of taps into what we were talking about earlier, where some actors will get so into their character role that their whole personality changes, and sometimes they don't even look the same anymore.
Yeah.
So that's an advanced shape-shifting thing that you can do. People have reported actually temporarily changing their facial structure, their skin tone, or even their height perception through deep meditation and energy work. It's when your mind and body are so deeply connected to that energy for a prolonged period of time.
Well, Christian Bale does it in a lot of his movies. Granted, he does like lose weight, gain weight, whatever, but it's not just that. It's he embodies a character and you're like, holy shit, that's Christian Bale. I forgot it was him. He's such a chameleon, and I have so much
And
respect.
we can do that too, you guys.
That's inspiring.
It's like you embody it and then you become it.
Yes.
Sometimes it can be just playful. Then you can take that to the next level and you're like, this is who I imagine myself being, and that's the version of me that I want to be for the rest of my life or for the next 10 years or whatever that is, and do it. But also embodying your authenticity, because sometimes, like for me, I'll look in the mirror and the way that I feel inside doesn't reflect the way that I look outside.
Yeah, we've all been there.
I could be so much more beautiful if I just did this or whatever, lost 10 pounds or did this or did that with myself. And I have it within me to do that. We all do. We can shift our physical body, but it all comes from your mental state. And it comes from your energy and how you feel about yourself. And if you can't see it, you won't become it.
Practice.
So what they were talking about was by holding a visual of yourself with a slightly altered feature, like stronger cheekbones, different eye shape, sharper jawline, you can train your body to slowly mirror those traits. So this isn't just about imagination. There are studies showing that the mind can influence biological processes. So just try this. Over time, every day, look in the mirror and visualize your ideal self and hold that image as if it's already real. Repeat a mantra like, I shift into my highest and most radiant form effortlessly, and keep track of small changes. People might even start commenting on your appearance without knowing why. They're like, did you do something different? They'll start asking you. This is a subtle form of transformation. This kind of transformation builds over time. So at the end of the day, shape-shifting is about perception and how we see ourselves and how others see us. Some people say this is just energy. Other people say it's illusion. But if people are experiencing the shift, and if their perception of you changes, and if your presence alters, then does it really matter?
Exactly.
It doesn't fucking matter.
It doesn't.
So if you can walk into a room and command attention, you can shift your frequency to be more powerful or magnetic, then you're actively shape-shifting. So yeah, try the techniques that we talked about, play with them, experiment with them, because we're not fixed beings. We're meant to evolve. and shift and transform naturally. We're meant to evolve. That's what every species on this planet does.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're no different. Something that I personally do is in my meditation room, I have a full-length mirror that's not like any other mirror in the house. So it's basically sacred. It's been programmed and blessed and enchanted with a spell to reflect only the highest version of myself. So when I look into it, I don't see flaws. I don't see insecurities. I only see my strength and my beauty and my divine energy. And I've written words of affirmation directly on the glass. Words that reshape my perception of who I am. And it shifts my energy and it rewires me when I look in that mirror to remember self-love. And the most powerful part of it is I make it known to everyone who comes into that space. And if they look into that mirror, they will only see their beauty. So it doesn't matter what kind of day they're having or what doubts or fears they walked in with, the mirror will only show them their highest light.
That's so beautiful.
And so you can do this too. You can create a mirror in your own house that becomes a portal of self-love, transformation, and improvement. And basically all you do is you find a mirror in your home that you use often or buy one specifically for this that feels really personal to you. And you cleanse it, of course, cleanse it down with moon water, herbal infusions, or just with the intention of clearing any old energy from it. And then program it with your intention. So put your hands on the mirror and speak your spell or mantra. You can say things like, this mirror reflects only my highest self, and really put that energy into it. Or every time I look into this mirror, I see beauty, wisdom, and light. Or something like, my mirror reveals only the divine essence within me. Or make it your own.
I love that.
Use the dry erase markers or sticky notes to write affirmations directly on the glass. What you can also do is I keep birthday cards and things that people write to me, and they say things that are really sentimental to me and directly to me. And I'll cut those out and put them around the mirror.
Oh, that's awesome.
So if I'm having trouble remembering what I'm worth in this world, I can look around and see what other people that I care about, their opinions and what they said to me.
Oh, I love that.
Beauty is the energy that you carry, not just what you see. Charge it regularly, speak to it, cleanse it, or even put crystals around it.
Yeah.
Just listen to your intuition. And every time you look into that specific mirror, it will shift your perception and remind you of your power. And if someone else steps in front of it, they will also feel the spell.
I love that.
Because when energy is intentionally woven into something, it becomes reality. Period.
That's beautiful.
I think that's it.
Yeah. I believe that's all the tea we have to spill today. And as always, remember to keep your minds open.
Namaste, bitches.